I also
That's actually there.
I agree.
Are you?
No, I
Ready?
No, I used to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, folks, like to call the meeting to order. Thank you, thank you. All righty. Oh, wow, thank you. Thanks, guys. There's actually no microphone in this room, and sorry, we're in a small space, but I did want to call the meeting to order and officially get down to business. As you saw, this place is bustling. They have classes in addition to induction ceremonies. So that's why we're in this smaller than normal room without a microphone. So I'm going to try my best to project. And if the folks on Zoom are having trouble hearing us, please let us know, as well as the folks in the room. So now that the meeting is officially called to order, I wanted to read out a statement from the executive board to sort of set the tone for the meeting. So the leadership of the Independent Neighborhood Democrats welcomes debate and discussion on topics of concern to the members of the community by candidates for office and others. IND believes in the right to political free speech, but believes strongly that personal attacks, profanity, intimidating or threatening gestures or words, attempts to silence speakers, or similarly inappropriate behaviors are unacceptable. Individuals engaging in such behavior will be asked to leave. So just wanted to set the tone for the evening. And with that, I wanted to kick it off by sort of celebrating some wins, one of which is actively celebrating just upstairs, which is the induction of Rachel Fryer for civil Supreme Court judge. So that was one of our many wins this election day, which is awesome. And we have, yes, we can give a round of applause. In addition to Rachel's win, which is celebrating just upstairs, we have the induction of a couple of people that we worked really hard for, including Caroline Cohen. Her induction ceremony is coming up in a week from Monday the 27th. And as well as Rena Malik, and I'm sure all the other judges also have induction ceremonies, which is really exciting. But just to click through all of the many winners from our big night here in the 52nd Assembly District, we had our 3 city council members. We sent them back to office, as well as Justin Brannon, who is joining us, or maybe joining us momentarily. Okay, or Andrew Norris.
Andrew's here.
Okay, Andrew's here. 1 second, Andrew. We also had lots of courts, or lots of judges rather, winning sweeping elections. So we had Bernie Brown for surrogates court. We had friend of the club, Gila Capel, friend of the club. Well, everyone's a friend of the club, but Sharon Clark, Rachel, Saul Stein, Joanne Quinones, Rena, Betsy Jean Jacques, Linda Wilson, who worked really hard for her primary as well, Monique Holloman, and Margaret Brown. So round of applause for all the judges that we saw. And of course, as we get information about all these induction ceremonies, feel free to check our calendar. We'll have all of the information that is out there available there. Let's just give a round of applause for all of our big wins across the country. I know many of us vote and banked for reproductive rights in Ohio, and we won tremendously there, which is and I know lots of folks are definitely from Brooklyn and Brooklyn natives and New York natives, but some people came from Virginia and Kentucky, I'm sure, in the world. And they also had big wins for Democrats as well. So round of applause for our fellow men for women. That's not to say that there wasn't losses, of course, here in New York State. I think right now the state committee is discussing the leadership of Jay Jacobs and what we can do better, considering this is 3 elections in a row where we've had tremendous notable losses across New York State when we should be blue through and through. So just wanted to note that as well. But on a positive note, we do have our state senator Andy Bernardus joining us here because he was a real champion for his good friend and ours, Justin Brannon. I know a lot of us went down to Bay Ridge almost every weekend for a month straight and knocked on many, many doors, and it turned out a really great win. So Andrew is calling in from his car. You're live.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Alyssa. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
You guys all hear me? All right, great. I'm sorry, I'm in between community board meetings over here. Just wanted to say thank you so much to the entire club for really showing up for Justin in his race this year. We won, I think the margin's like 18 points. He blew it out of the water. It's kind of funny. His last election to the city council was his best win ever. But we didn't know what those results were going to be going in. It was a new district. He was going up against an incumbent. There was very little turnout projected. There was nothing at the top of the ticket to bring people out. The mood amongst the electorate in Southern Brooklyn, as many of you experienced, knocking on doors and making calls, was tough. People concerned about crime and the migrants and everything else. And we had our own county leader working against Justin on multiple times, really trying to just gum up the works and putting out statements denouncing him. So we had no idea what to expect, but we all doubled down. We all threw down. You guys came out. And we won by nearly 20 points. So just wanted to pop in and say thank you so much for that. Southern Brooklyn really appreciates you guys always showing up time and time again, whether it's for me, for Justin, or for anyone else that we have on the ballot. So kudos to the club for not forgetting your friends down south. And then just also thanks to everyone that showed up on Monday night for my 5-year anniversary party. I can't believe it's been 5 years since I first got elected, which you guys were obviously a huge part of. We had a great party on Monday night to celebrate. We had like 170 people there. The Attorney General came. It was fun. So thanks to the club for showing up and for always supporting. And I'm going to keep it brief. I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving, and I look forward to seeing you guys real soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andrew. Any questions, or can we let him go drive off into the next? Okay.
Happy to take questions if you want, for sure.
Yeah, Alyssa Meyer. Thanks. We just have some club business and then we'll kick it over. Sure. Okay. We can call it home.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. So do you want to unpin Andrew? Yes. You want to move over us to watch him drive through Brooklyn? Okay, great. So as IND believes, Excelsior, ever upward onto the next election, and that is, of course, our internal elections. After 2 years, I am term limited. I know, sad, but we are about to open up the nominations for club officers as well as executive board for 2024. So just as a reminder, oh yes, will you take notes? Okay. As a reminder, the nominations for officers, you have to be a member in good standing for 2 years. And nomination for executive board, you have to be a member in good standing for 1 year. So with that, I believe I'm supposed to do open nominations. Any nomination for the role of president? Yes.
Nominate James Campbell.
James Campbell, do you accept?
I do.
All right, we got a nomination. Any other nominations for club president? All right.
Second.
Oh, second. Okay. I don't think you have to second nominations. Oh, I should say, officers can only be nominated tonight, whereas executive board members could be nominated both tonight and our next general meeting, which is in January. So one candidate for president. Any challengers? All right. First vice president, do I have a nomination? Yes.
I nominate Danielle Zuckerman.
Danielle Zuckerman, do you accept?
I do.
All right. Any other any other nominations? Oh, anyone on Zoom coming in? Any no? Okay. Great. Second vice president. Yes.
Nominate Karen Johnson.
Karen Johnson, do you accept?
Yes.
All right. Let's see, treasurer.
Well, any other nominations?
Oh, any other nominations? So sorry.
Better not.
Karen, by the way, I believe has served in every single role in IND so far. So
Except second.
except second VP. So we will fill that spot. Okay, treasurer.
I nominate Karen, Vicky Eastis.
Vicky Eastis. Okay.
Second.
Third.
She
I
told,
believe
she's
she's here,
not.
but she is.
She's on Zoom.
Oh, perfect. Hope you accept, Vicky. Any other nominations for treasurer? Money bags? No. Okay. Corresponding secretary. Any nominations?
We're leaving that vacant for now.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
We have to nominate somebody tonight.
Oh, if it's vacant, we can nominate it for January.
Okay, cool. Good that somebody knows the rules. All right, moving on to recording secretary.
Lynn Hill.
Lynn Hill.
Second.
Perfect. Yes, she's not here tonight either, but I believe she accepts. Okay, so besides the one vacancy, I think that closes the nominations for officers. And now we will go to the executive board, which again, you have to be a member in good standing for at least 1 year. Open roll call. All right.
I nominate Ira Weintraub.
Okay.
And I nominate
whatever his name
Or
is.
nominate Hal.
Perfect.
Accept.
Two for.
Anyone else?
Julia Amanis.
I nominate Jason Shai.
Okay, there we go. Like this action. And I'm allowed to nominate people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm nominating Maya Kornberg, who is zooming in, as well as Sari Kozlowski. Any other
Just been nominated.
nominations? Yes.
I'm thrilled to announce, you know, I'm very dramatic. Joan Millman,
Yes.
a grand dame of
I
IND.
heard a question about
Yes. All right.
that. How frequent?
Al Friedman. Okay. I believe he's been nominated.
Susanna
Susan.
Pasquantonio.
Does
Yes.
he get two seats?
Okay. We got Susanna. Anyone else? Yeah.
Howard Roberts. No, thank you. No, I.
Okay. Declined.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Steve Brodsky.
Steve Brownstein. Yes, he accepts. Okay.
Bridget Farrell.
Bridget Farrell. Does she accept?
She told me. she was.
Okay,
I think
she accepts.
I'll make her.
I don't think the second gentleman wants to be on e-board anymore.
Scared him
Yes.
away.
Jason, wait, I got the vote.
Yes.
We have Jason.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I thought it was the first.
Oh, you're on the first gem. I'm sorry.
Like, give me.
Sorry, yeah, the
Lawrence,
Lawrence,
I think,
that's
first.
Okay, we have 11 right now.
Okay,
That doesn't include the officers.
right, officers are automatically on executive board.
And President Emeritus.
Yes, as well as President Emeritus. Yes, all right.
No, sorry.
Boo. Okay, I think that
And
completes,
we can nominate people from.
we can also, we can continue nominations. We did Susanna. Yeah, she's on.
I have-
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, any other nominations? Again, we can do this in January as well. Okay, wonderful. Moving right along. So we have some old business to take care of. Excuse me. So we have some old business to take care of, but to be respectful of our first speaker's time, would love to call up our first speaker for, again, the presidential race, which is kicking off. So Marianne Williamson has joined us. She happens to be in New York City today and is kind enough to stop by our club. And is that your phone?
No.
Okay. And somebody's phone is ringing, but we'll figure that out. So Marianne Williamson, our first candidate for the Democratic nomination for 2024. The floor is yours. Feel free to give us a little speech and then we'll do some Q&A after that.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Alyssa. Like you said, I saw your letter. I'm here. So thank you very, very much for giving me this opportunity. I know that because this is a Democratic club, there are some things we can sort of shorthand and go straight to the point. I think we all know the shared goal here, and that is to make sure that Donald Trump does not reclaim the White House in 2024. I'm sure that everybody here is aware the comment about vermin the other day. The lefties are vermin. He will root them out. He made the comment about what was it, that the migrants are poisoning the blood of the homeland. These lines are straight from Mein Kampf. It turns out that Hillary Clinton warned us about who he was, and he was exactly who Hillary said he was. And I think, I don't know if I've heard her say this, but I think we've all thought it. He'd even be worse this time. He is emboldened, he is unabashed. So we don't even need to go into the details. I think we all know that. I'm running because, and also I'm standing for, in the Quinnipiac poll that came out today, I'm at 12%. Dean Phillips is at 4%, interestingly enough. And I'm sure you realize he's had a lot of national media. The national media thinks the way to handle this is that I do not exist. But I very much do, actually. And I'm very proud of that 12% that came out today. Because to achieve that without, with the kind of media blackout that I've had, I think says a lot, not only about my team and wonderful volunteers, but also about what's happening on the ground. And that's really what matters. It doesn't matter what Morning Joe says. What matters is what the voters of New Hampshire say. What matters is that the voters of South Carolina, Nevada, and Michigan. So I'd like to tell you what I believe. And I believe, with all due respect, that Joe Biden is a very weak candidate for us to put up in 2024. I know that it was almost sacrilege to say this until about a month ago, but I think people have come out of their trance now. The president, we know, is tanking in the polls in swing states. And too many things are happening that make too many people very concerned. And so I don't need to convince anyone of that. That, of course, is your own, whatever you feel. But I'd like to tell you what I believe. First of all, very quickly, is the reason why I believe he is a weak candidate. And secondly of all, why I believe I'd be a very strong one. I believe the president would be, first of all, I want to say this. I don't think that 2024 will be much like 2020. I think it's going to be like 2016. And the Democratic elite establishment completely missed it. I didn't miss it because my job takes me around. I travel a lot in this country. I was as horrified as everybody else that I knew was when Trump won in 2016, but I was not shocked like everyone else I knew because I'm out there in the country and I know what's going on. And I feel in many ways that the Democratic establishment, the DNC, is doing in 2024. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. What is happening here is that the president is saying that we are going to win because he's going to say the economy is good. And I remind you that the economy is good for 20% of us. And for 20% of us, we're on an island surrounded by a vast sea of economic despair. You know, we have 1 in 4 Americans who live with medical debt. We have 1/3 of America's workforce lives on less than $15 an hour, and half of them cannot afford a place to live. There was tremendous frustration. There was tremendous anger in 2016, and that is still there. I think that a lot of people who stood in line for 7 hours to make sure that we won in 2020 and to make sure that we held on to the Senate in 2022 are not feeling like they got what they stood in line for. And we can talk about how they should feel differently, but that's not how you get votes, by scolding people and telling them that they should feel differently. People who are still living $7.25 an hour wage, who did not get codified voting rights, who did not get not only the higher minimum wage, but any legislation passed that was serious police reform. So I'd like to tell you what I think it will take to win in 2024, and even more importantly, how to set the Democratic Party up for the most powerful chapter in our history, really since Roosevelt. I think of myself as a Roosevelt Democrat. And Eleanor said to Franklin, we need more than the alleviation of stress, we need fundamental economic reform. My agenda is based on taking Roosevelt's Economic Bill of Rights and articulating it for the 21st century. Franklin Roosevelt said we would not have to worry about a fascist takeover, which is really what you and I are talking about here. He said that we would not have to worry about a fascist takeover as long as democracy delivered on its promises. And democracy is not delivering on its promises. We are the only advanced democracy that does not have universal health care. We're the only advanced democracy that does not have tuition-free college and tech school. We're the only advanced democracy that does not have at least subsidized childcare, universal paid family leave, guaranteed sick pay, and guaranteed living wage. And I've also put, so if you look at my website, marion2024.com, you look at my issues, Economic Bill of Rights is central. I also have on my agenda, Department of Peace, hello, because I feel that we need to wage peace as effectively as we wage war when we feel that we need to. Even Donald Rumsfeld said we need to learn to wage peace. Violence is the absence of peace. Peace is not the absence of violence. John F. Kennedy said, if we do not get rid of war, war will get rid of us. We should be imagining a planet without war in 100 years and reverse engineering from there. I also want a Department of Children and Youth. I think that children are the largest, most significant collateral damage of this vulture crony capitalism that has overtaken our system over the last 50 years. We have millions of children at such at risk, and the Democratic Party should be speaking to this despair. We have the highest child poverty rate because we have the highest poverty rate of any advanced democracy. We have over 30%, and I really want you to join with me in taking this in. It is so outrageous, and this is what the Democratic Party should be speaking to. Over 30% of the Americans say that they regularly skip meals. 62% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Hell, you have even Nikki Haley's mentioning, it's like they're stealing from us the stuff that we should be saying. You have 1,000, you have the majority of Americans who cannot afford a $1,000 unexpected expenditure. If you think we're going to win in 2024 with someone saying the economy is good, that was the mistake we made in 2016. One of the mistakes and one of the things that happened. And then the last thing I want to talk about, ending America's war on drugs. Drug addiction is an ubiquitous problem in the United States today. You know, some of us are old enough to remember when John Ehrlichman went to prison after Watergate, and when he came out, he really spilled the beans, remember? And one of the things he spilled the beans about was Nixon starting the war on drugs. He knew that drugs was not public enemy number one. It absolutely was not in the 1970s. He did it, and according to Ehrlichman, he did it in many ways as an attack on Black communities. We spent $1 trillion on the drug war. It obviously has not healed the problem, solved it. It has in many ways exacerbated it. When I was in college, we had 300,000 people incarcerated. We have today 2.3 million people, and almost half of all federal offenders are nonviolent drug offenders. We still spend $100 billion a year on it, and for a fraction of that, we could have a world-class network of recovery options. When I was a young woman, AA, you know, everybody knew people in AA, and AA is important in a subculture. Today, addiction is such an ubiquitous problem, and especially with everything that's happened with OxyContin. The last thing I'd like to say about that is that this will help us on the southern border. It won't completely solve the problem, but it will really make a dent in the power of the drug cartels, because the power of the drug cartels is driven by the fact that all those drugs are a black market for them. And a lot of, obviously, the majority of people who are coming here are seeking to escape the terrible violence that is perpetrated by the drug cartels. And then I have a lot to say about the southern border. I was recently in Eagle Pass. The Democrats, I just don't get it. It's playing to a mythical center that doesn't even exist. You know, they told me in Eagle Pass, the local official said, we feel suppressed by the state government, but we feel abandoned by the federal government. Because you've got people like Greg Abbott. This is total racism. You know, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, keep out the Jews, keep out the Polacks, keep out the Irish. And today it's keep out, you know, the Hispanics. But we're not creating a counter narrative. We're not creating a non-racist counter narrative to that. If we were, we would be lifting the sanctions in Venezuela. We would be lifting the sanctions in Cuba and so forth. So I have a lot of feelings about that. I have a lot of feelings. I gave you this sort of basic agenda, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have, including any questions you might have about what's going on in those primary states. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you not want me to do that?
Oh, no, I love Q&A. I just wanted to sort of help facilitate because there's going to be a lot of questions coming at you.
Okay.
But yes, Seamus, go ahead.
Ms. Williamson, so if you're elected president, you would then become the de facto head of the Democratic Party.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you are aware, but in 2019, the Young Democrats of America, which is the official youth arm of the Democratic National Committee, passed a resolution that all but condemned you all but by name for your ableist and anti-science views. What do you say to that?
It is BS, sir. And you can't find one thing that I've ever said that is.
Would you like me to bring up the resolution? I can find.
Well, you can bring up the resolution. You can definitely bring up the resolution. It's one of many things. The lies written about me on the internet. Anti-science.
Your views on vaccines, for instance?
Pardon?
Your views on vaccines?
I have never made an anti-vaccine comment. I made an excuse me, sir. I'm trying to respond. I made an this was before COVID. I made a comment about mandate. I never made an anti-vaccine comment, ever, privately. Oh, you can't find it? Nor am I a crystal lady, by the way. I've written a lot of books. You won't find the word crystal in any of my books, any of my lectures. So you won't find one anti-vaccine comment anywhere, sir.
So Andrew Kaczynski from CNN was lying.
Who?
Andrew Kaczynski from CNN.
What a shock to think somebody lied on CNN. I don't know what world you're living in.
Let's have
Let me tell you what else CNN says, that the president doesn't have any opponents except for Dean Phillips. Now, on the other hand, if you look at the Quinnipiac poll today, I'm at 12%, Dean Phillips is at 4%. So no, you will not find, I don't care what somebody said on CNN, you will not find in any quote of mine an anti-vaccine comment. You will find many people saying that, but you will not find a quote of mine anywhere. Or anti-science. What people had done is they took one sentence. I write spiritual books. I write metaphysical books. I've also written 2 political books. So in my first book, A Return to Love, there's talking about Einstein and Buddha. And Buddha said the world is an illusion. The world is Maya. And Einstein said time and space are aspects, he said, are illusions of consciousness, albeit, persistent ones. And I said, within that, sickness is an illusion. I have osteoporosis. My sister died of breast cancer. I have not only I was an AIDS activist. I have sat at the bed of many, many dying people. I have raised millions and given more book royalties, and you have any idea, to help people with AIDS. No one needs to tell me that I don't know what sickness is. Thanks.
I have a practical question. We heard from the executive director of the state party that filings were due yesterday in order to be able to run in New York State on the ballot. Have you officially filed?
New York's filing was yesterday?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about New York. I'm working hard on Maine. We're filed in New Hampshire. We have filed in South Carolina.
Mhm.
We have filed in Nevada. We have filed in Arkansas. We filed in Alabama. We filed in Michigan. We're working hard on Maine, Indiana, Vermont, and I'm going to make a phone call as soon as I leave here about New York.
Okay, yeah, because just
It's
so
not a
everyone,
petition file.
Pardon?
It's not a petition.
Well, some of them are money.
See,
Some of them are money. Do you know what the money is on the New York?
There's no.
Well, I don't know what that's about, but I assure you, our ballot access plan is very strong.
It's
So
it's a notice of candidacy.
notice of candidacy, right? Okay.
it's what?
A notice of candidacy. If he's
Oh,
an
a
election
notice of
lawyer, yeah.
candidacy, but not the filing.
It's not the petition filing.
Right, that's just-
Oh, that's
December
later.
18th.
Yeah, because our people are very much on that.
Okay.
So, yeah, so
Just
perhaps
asking
they
the
made that
logistical
petition of
question.
candidacy.
Okay, maybe we have time for 2 more questions. Yes, Hal, go ahead.
What is your position on the current Middle East situation?
If you had talked to me before October 7th, it would be somewhat different. And I am Jewish. If you would talk to me before October 7th, this is what I would have said. That the memorandum of understanding that was passed by Congress, that was under Obama, could only be repealed. That was a $3.8 billion every year in military aid. Only an act of Congress could actually repeal it. But I, as president, would have said that that money must be used in things that do not have to do with the occupation of the West Bank, which is illegal at this point, would not have had to do with the settlers, the settlements, which are illegal, and would not have had to do with the blockade of Gaza, that I would only have wanted it used for things that we did not feel transgressed against human rights as we stand on them here in the United States. Right now, I'm deeply concerned. The misinformation, the prejudice, the bigotry, and at least covert anti-Semitism on the left is as disturbing to me as anything that I've seen on the far right. I'm not interested in the views of anyone who exalt the security needs of either Israelis or Palestinians at the expense of the other. We need 3 things and we need them simultaneously. We need a ceasefire, we need release of the hostages, and we need a plan for a 2-state solution. And clearly, I think Qatar, Bahrain, UAE, Egypt, Jordan, this has to be an internationalist approach at this point. I read Jeffrey Sachs' article today because, I mean, I'm reading everybody. Thomas Friedman says this, Jeffrey Sachs says that, everybody has ideas. I liked Jeffrey Sachs' article today until he said that it has to be an international consortium that determines what the 2-state solution would be, and that neither the Palestinians nor the Israelis has a chance to override that. That's a really tough one. And yet it is going to have to be some kind of an international approach. To me, Hamas is obviously a horrifying terrorist organization. I am not okay with anyone who in any way minimizes that. And I do not see Netanyahu as a friend of Israel. And I say this as a Jew, I think is one of the worst things that's happened to Israel. His far-right government, I think, has been very bad for Israel. I remind people all the time, hundreds of thousands of people were protesting in Tel Aviv against him even before this happened every Saturday. And it concerns me greatly that he's in charge of things now because I do not agree with how he's dealing with this.
I think we have a question from Vito. Hi. Oh, so from Vito, what's your position on resolving the illegal immigration border problems?
I'm sorry, the immigration border problem? So I went to Eagle Pass, Texas, a couple of weeks ago, and it was not quite what I expected. I expected to feel that the situation was far more complicated than I came out feeling. Greg Abbott is a real racist person. And he, and of course, DeSantis joins with him in all this. But when you're down there and you see it, he is completely overriding federal jurisdiction with what he's doing there. 1,500 people drowned in the Rio Grande last year. 800, more than 800 have this year. The concertina wire, the buoys in the water. This is federal public land. How the federal government, I don't understand what's happening down there, that the federal government is allowing him to do what he's doing. As I said earlier, I think the Democratic Party should stand for a counter narrative. This is simply, it's simply racism turned into political policy. That's all that it is. The truth of the matter is, these are the statistical truths. If people immigrate here, and within the first year, if they are helped to assimilate, if they are helped to integrate, if they're helped to get on their feet, within 1 year, they are self-sufficient. And if you look at the entire immigrant population, they do far more to contribute to the US economy than to take away from it. And unless you are descended from an enslaved person or from a indigenous Native American, who the heck do we think we are? My grandparents came through Ellis Island. And I just think it's this whole idea of it being such a crisis. The crisis at the border, in my mind, is the humanitarian crisis. I think the average American does not realize the horror that most of these people are escaping, how much Latin American policy, policy in Latin America over the last few decades contributed to the destabilization of the economies in those countries, and continues to do so, as in the case, as I mentioned, of the sanctions on Cuba and the sanctions on Venezuela. So I don't think the average American has really an idea of how brutal these sanctions can be. And we know they don't work. The sanctions on the Russian oligarchs haven't helped us with Ukraine, because these sanctions are meant to get to the bad guys, who we think of as the bad guys. But they have, what are we talking about? They have money in Switzerland. They have money in Monte Carlo. They're not hurt by our sanctions. Who's hurt is the average citizens, who then, in those cases, turn around and try to make it to the United States. I think the average American, we need to appeal to the conscience of people. The average American, and that's our job as a party, to say to you, I think what you have to be escaping, to be willing to walk through the Darien Gap with little children. It's outrageous. And if I'm president, I'll tell you something. They were traumatized, and that's what made them leave. If I'm president, they will not be re-traumatized at the border of the United States. And I also saw in Eagle Pass, I saw that, and these were people of the Democratic Party, by the way. This was the Democratic Party club, as well as the city officials. They were showing me. You have the Texas National Guard there. They pick up their guns, they intimidate people. And the truth of the matter was, they could have had processing centers right there. They could have had them right there.
Right. I think last question, if that's okay. Howard.
Yeah, would you continue Ukraine?
It's a tough one for me. So let me tell you what my journey has been. I have supported the president's support for Ukraine. I understand our hands were not clean about NATO. I understand the Aegis missile should never have been in Poland. I do understand. However, I have not felt that anything we did justifies what Vladimir Putin has done. And so I have felt support for that. I have always felt a little queasy when the president has said for as long as it takes, because I wasn't sure I was in the for as long as it takes category. I had great hope, as many people did, that this counteroffensive would be able to do more. Where we are now is, it's a stalemate. It's just a war of attrition right now. And so in my heart and mind, I'm really questioning now. But because I'm not president, I don't have to make a decision. But I am not as, we got to do this, we got to do this. I think a lot of it when it comes to Ukraine is a gut call about your feelings about Putin. I do not trust him. Obviously we need a negotiated settlement, but I have felt that I want it to be a negotiated settlement where there is still Ukraine to negotiate. Some people say just give him what he wants and he'll stop. His history would not lead us to believe that. He takes what he wants, then he stops for a while, then he goes back. And we don't need Erdogan seeing this. We don't need Xi seeing this. There are a lot of bad guys out there who are watching. Oh, really? I can just grab territory and the United States ultimately won't do anything? You have to consider all of these things. And these are the questions that are in my mind.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, what other political clubs in town can say they had a presidential candidate here?
Marianne,
Marianne, thank you. Okay. So I apologize. It's like very hot in here, no?
We tried lowering the heat.
And it went up.
We did put it down to like 70 and
Yes.
still not.
Okay, so we also have another presidential candidate team on the line. Right now I'm going to toss it over to Quentin Fuchs, who I know I've gotten emails from. You might recognize his name as well. He happens to be the principal deputy campaign director for the entire Joe Biden, Kamala Harris 2024 operation, which is awesome. And some of us also might know him. We did a ton of phone banking in the great state of Georgia for the Reverend Raphael Warnock. We did a small part in helping to send him to Senate. And this is the guy that ran the campaign. So it's a real honor to hear from you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll hand it over to you and you can give us a little rundown of the campaign, the accomplishments of the president and the VP, and then we'll do some Q&A. So the floor is yours.
Of course. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here with you all tonight, and apologies that I can't be there in person. I want to first, start where you ended, and thank you all for your help for sending, the postcards and the phones and the text into Georgia to help get Senator Warnock elected. We absolutely would not have been able to do that without all of your support. So thank you for that. Look, this is exciting, and I want to, one, when you get to go after someone, you can sort of, respond to things that they've said, and also, make sure you're getting your point across. Look, when the president and the vice president took office, this country was facing an unprecedented crisis from the pandemic. There's economic crisis, there's a climate crisis, there's racial injustice running rampant. And they ran on a couple of key things, right? Economics, the economy, lowering costs, freedom, democracy. And those are still the same things that we're fighting for. And so, our campaign is not under any illusion that everything is great for everyone in America. In fact, that would be naive of us to believe that. But it does not change the fact of what this administration has accomplished in 3 short years. And, that is a record of economic growth when you think about just the lay of the land in politics. I think one of the things that we need now, most importantly, with everything going on in the world, is not anybody that is going to learn on the job. We need steady leadership across the board, and that's exactly what President Biden and Vice President Harris bring to the table. This administration has created nearly 14 million jobs. It has cleared student loan debt for 3.6 million Americans for the tune of about $127 billion in face of Republican opposition who has tried to stop it. It has lowered unemployment to historic lows for America writ large, but for Black and Hispanic communities. Created nearly 800,000 manufacturing jobs in the course of all this. put a Black woman on the Supreme Court. And I know that Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson gets a lot of the attention, but also more Black women in the federal judiciary than all other presidential administrations combined. It has passed significant federal gun legislation to try to tackle and address some of these problems. Lead pipes, climate, I mean, you name it, this administration has done it. And I want to get to, the Q&A piece, because I know that that's, the piece that you're doing. But when it comes to this campaign, we realize that right now we have work to do. A point has been made about polling. And our campaign, simply put, we take that with a grain of salt. Polls are a snapshot in time, nor are they indicative of how you win. As my introduction stated, I was in Georgia in the midst of an election, and folks telling us every single day that we were going to lose that election to a red wave that never materialized. And in fact, one of the pieces about the 2022 elections is that they say, oh, well, it was Republican candidate quality and the money that Democrats were able to raise. That could be true to an extent for some of the larger races. But in 2022, we were able to add a Senate seat. We defended 2 governors and elected 2 brand new Democratic governors. We flipped 4 state governments totaling 4 government trifectas. We also avoided a single red to blue loss in the chamber. In 2010 under President Obama's midterm, Democrats lost 63 seats in the House. During President Trump's midterm, Democrats lost 63 seats in the House. Under Joe Biden's midterm in 2022, we lost 9 seats in the House, which flies in the face of the fact that this agenda that Democrats are working towards isn't resonating down ballot. Move from 2022 into 2023, we saw early signs of this with the Jacksonville mayoral race, where Democrats were able to flip that mayoral seat. Look towards Ohio, we saw Special Issue 1 get on the ballot. And then most recently, about a week and a half, or about a little over a week ago, a week and a day, we continued to see Democrats turning out, making Republicans have to spend $15 million in Mississippi, a state that Trump won by 26 points. In Kentucky, Andy Beshear elected on the back of abortion. Ohio, a red state, voting to legalize abortion in their state and marijuana in the same foul swoop, right? And so when people talk about these polls and they talk about all this stuff, we need to stop talking about polls in the abstract and really focus on what voters are doing when they're asked to turn out. And what they are doing is continuously voting for an agenda that has been championed and presided over by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, which is the Democratic agenda that we're running on. This stuff has to be grounded in reality. And I think a lot of the proposals from the Republican side of things are just completely out of touch, which I know everybody in this group agrees with. But even what we see on the Democratic side is that these solutions are not grounded in reality, nor are they grounded in any fact of accomplishments or record of being able to do these things that some of these candidates are saying. And that's exactly what we don't need at this moment in time. Our campaign is steadily focused on making sure that we're able to get to 270 electoral votes. The pathway to that is very simple, right? We need to shore up the blue wall. That's Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. We have to win those 3 states. We also want to make sure that we hold on to the 2020 expansion states that the president was able to flip in 2020. Those are Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. We also, looking around the map, thinking of states that we can expand into, we are looking at Florida and North Carolina. North Carolina, in my opinion, as manager, is a state that Democrats should have won the last 2 Senate races. Cal Cunningham ran, and he lost that race on his own volition. And Sherry Beasley ran in 2022 and didn't get the economic investment that she needed, and she got this close to winning. There's a gubernatorial election there this cycle. And we think with the energy from that race and with some investments into that state, it is a state that is absolutely winnable. When you look at Florida, and I know that this is a hard one for a lot of people to digest, but when you look at Florida, the one thing about Democratic campaigns that we've got to stop doing is thinking that somehow voters are contained to electoral college lines. And what I mean by that is that even if Florida is a state that we may ultimately not win, it is a state that a lot of Latino and Hispanic, Dominican voters, where they live, and those voters are the voters that Hispanic voters in a lot of these other states are communicating with. And so if we abandon these constituencies that live in the state, I think I was able to, sort of a humble brag here, but prove in Georgia that there's a lot of Black Democrats and a lot of Democrats that live in the rural South. And we were able to turn those votes out. We were able to get 9% of Republican voters to vote for the senior pastor of Ebenezer, Martin Luther King's church, against a legend, a football legend in that state, right? We saw it in Mississippi. We've seen it in Kentucky, right? And so we have to keep communicating to these audiences. And so we're up on television and digital, radio, print, in all of those states that I mentioned that are our battleground states, also communicating to voters in language in the AAPI community, because that's also another constituency that we cannot take for granted. We also know that we have to talk and engage youth voters. History tells us that you have to win 60% of the youth vote. In 2020, President Biden and Vice President Harris got 60%. President Obama won 60% of the youth vote. Donald Trump won 60% of the youth vote. The only candidate that has not gotten 60% of the youth vote was former Secretary Clinton when she ran. She only got 58% of the youth vote. So we know that we should be aiming to get 60% of the youth vote. However, in the midterms, Democrats were able to get 65% of the youth vote, which we, define as 18 to 29. So that's going to be a major piece for us. With the economic investments that this president and this administration have put into colleges, student loan debt, making things, young voters aren't monolithic. It's not just climate. It's not just guns. They also care about the economy. They care about home ownership. They care about the cost of living. And so we have to make sure that we're messaging that stuff as well to these voters. And so we're doing all the things right now to lay the groundwork so that we're able to be successful when we head into 2024. But make no mistake about it, this election is going to be close. Our campaign has never been arrogant about the fact that this election is going to be close and that every single vote is a vote that we're going to have to earn. We have come into this campaign and also flipped the traditional thought process around, how we communicate with voters, and started early, which I think is key. There has never been a presidential campaign in history that has started this type of communication as early as our campaign has. On the other side of that, it's also how you're communicating with voters. And if I can be a little nerdy here, a lot of voters of color are traditionally seen as get out the vote targets or GOTV targets, which on its face is just a bit disrespectful, because it just assumes that all you need to do is just get that person to leave their house on election day or during early vote and that they will vote for you. That is clearly not the case anymore. And that's not because of anything that Joe Biden has done. That's because the American political system is fatiguing to people. But we continuously see this, but we know we have to work and communicate with these voters long term. And so we've put them into a persuadable voter category, meaning that we know we have to communicate with them very early. We have to stay in constant communication with them, and we have to be talking to them not just about what the president has done for them already, but what the president wants to do for them when he's reelected. And so I'm very proud of the work that our campaign is putting in, but I know that you all have questions. I don't want to cannibalize the time. I also want to make sure that I point out Alana Mounts is our ballot access director. You all should see her on your screen. If I'm not pinned, and you see my ugly face all over the place, but Alana Mounts is our ballot access director and working tirelessly to get us on the ballot, which we are on the ballot in several states. And maybe Alana, before we get into Q&A, if you want to just talk through the states that we're on the ballot in already and the states that we're working to be on the ballot in, and then we can turn it back over to the secretary for some Q&A.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Quentin. It's so good to be with all of you, and thank you for inviting us to your meeting this evening. As Quentin mentioned, I'm Alana Mounts. I'm the ballot access director. And basically, me and our team are in charge of making sure we get the president on primary ballots, Democratic primary ballots in all 57 states and territories. So we are pushing hard right now across the country and making sure that the president is listed. And excited to talk with you all. As you know, New York is a place where we are going to have to collect thousands of signatures so that the president is listed on the ballot. We are on the ballot in South Carolina. We are on the ballot in Nevada. We were just listed in Michigan, so we will be there in the early states. But we're also pushing to be on the ballot in all 57 states and territories so that every single Democratic voter is able to make their voice heard and show their support for President Biden. So I know each of you are leaders in your own community, in your own neighborhood, and with this group of Democrats here. So we do really look forward to working with all of you as we start our petition work in mid-December through early January. And so we'll be working closely together as we start reaching out to Democrats in New York to sign up and make sure that President Biden is a candidate that New Yorkers get to vote for.
Great. Well, thank you both. Let's give a round of applause. And Shane, yeah, we can pin. So just so you know, both of your faces are pinned on our screen and you both look excellent. Okay, so I will open it up for a Q&A. Folks on Zoom, feel free to pop in questions there and we'll ask. Whoa, lots of hands. Michael, go ahead. Oh, sorry, Matt, my bad. It's hot in here.
I'll address the elephant in the room. President Biden is 82 years old. He'll be 82 years old when he's elected, sorry. He'll be 82 years old the next election, and his age is an issue and is becoming an issue. How is the campaign going to address those age questions going forward, which a lot of the populace has?
You guys could hear that, right? He was in the back. Oh, Quentin, you're muted.
Yep, we can hear it.
Perfect.
I can't see you, Matt, but thank you for the question. Look, it's not an elephant in the room for us. I think that at the end of the day, this is something that, one, on its face, is, indicative of what the Republicans do, which is try to sow hate and division. And what we're seeing, quite frankly, bluntly, about the president's age, is ageism. And again, I understand that that may not necessarily matter, because at the end of the day, it's a problem that we have to deal with. But the way our campaign is going to deal with that is that you're not going to see us trying to make President Biden anything that he's not, except for the fact that he is an effective leader. I think, if I'm being candid with this group, a lot of this stuff maybe has been able to penetrate in the absence of there being an opponent. But one thing that I think, if Donald Trump is the nominee that we run against, Donald Trump and the president are not very far apart in their age, but they are millennia apart in regards of what they've accomplished and the destruction that Donald Trump brought onto this country. And so that's what we're going to be able to continue to point out. And so when it comes down to it, point blank to your question, just in a quick synopsis, our campaign is banking on the fact that American voters, with the choice of Donald Trump or any Republican that's hell-bent on ripping away their rights and their freedoms, is going to choose Joe Biden over that agenda put forward, because it's better for them. I don't think that American voters wake up every day worrying about if the president stumbled in a speech or stumbled while he was on stage. I think they wake up every morning worrying about how much gas costs, how much food costs to put on their plates. And that's what our campaign is going to be focused on. And all the time that we spend talking about the president's age is doing exactly what they want us to be doing, and we're not going to fall for it. And so I understand that you all may be hearing it, but our best answer to the age question is the accomplishments of this administration. And that's why our campaign has been so hot and heavy getting it out. But we're not going to fall and have that conversation that they want us to have.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for you both for coming. My name is Aileen Doherty, and I'm lifelong resident of New York State, New York City. And my question, and when you said this, and it kind of hit a nerve. One of the things I thought about the Hillary Clinton race was that most of her time, I thought, was spent on comparing herself against Donald Trump. I really think, in a country of our size, that we should be focusing on the best thing that we can do, and not saying that we're a better candidate from a really bad candidate. So I hope, I respect your opinion, I respect your statement, but I just find that to be it's not where we should be. I would rather hear how the president in his next term is going to address poverty, going to address labor, going to address income, and how income has been decimated over the last 50 years in this country, and how major life events, we lost them.
No, they're still there. Sorry.
Yeah. How things that are essential to life and that are in the FDRs and for freedoms and in the UN Declaration of Human Rights, the right to education, the right to housing, the right to a job, the right to healthcare. All 4 of those items, the inflation rate is through the roof. And they are essentially, I believe, human rights. So let's please not talk about Donald Trump. Let's talk about, and I apologize because this is really important to me. Let's talk about how we're going to get ourselves out of the hole that we're in and how people who are living paycheck to paycheck, and if they lose their job are in poverty or in the streets.
Is there a question in there?
Yes, how are, sorry. Sorry.
Oh.
What is the president going to do about poverty? What is the president going to do about low income? What is the president going to do about high education costs, high healthcare costs,
Okay.
high
Got it.
housing costs?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm sorry that I, hit a nerve here. But the one thing that I will say is that, this is probably going to be a $1.5 to $2 billion campaign. And we're going to have to do all of the above. In fact, our campaign has spent almost $30 million so far on television advertisement, radio advertisements, digital, print, all the things that I mentioned, and not one of those ads has mentioned have mentioned Donald Trump or any Republican. They've all been about what Joe Biden wants to do for this country and what Joe Biden has done for this country. So I don't think that in any point at all, I'm suggesting that we are going to just solely put this on the camp of just a contrast about if Joe Biden's a better, candidate or a better human being than Donald Trump. I completely agree with you that an aspect of this, I don't think the whole thing. And the one thing that I think too is that we live in a very fractured media environment. And at any given point, some kid unboxing Legos has more views than a presidential campaign like ours can reach in a single day. We also have to push back on misinformation and disinformation that's out there. The technology that exists today online, where a lot of younger voters are getting their information, are places that I think are going to be feeding grounds for Republicans. And I think we saw some of the beginnings of it in 2016. But to your points on the agendas, I absolutely think that at a certain point in this campaign, there is going to be an affirmative agenda that's laid out about what actually finish the job is and what this president wants to do. I think that we've already laid the blueprint right now of like what this president has accomplished in the 3 years that he's been elected. And there's going to be a piece of it. Again, know that this is not your favorite, but there's going to be a piece of it that has to point out the differences between Joe Biden and whoever the Republicans put forward. If that's Donald Trump, then that's who the differences are going to be contrasting. But I hear your concern, and I promise you that this campaign will not make the mistake of solely falling in and just making this about Donald Trump and thinking that enough fear of Donald Trump will be enough to excite this electorate to turn out. We know this electorate wants to turn out, particularly younger voters, for what you're going to do for them. And so that's front of mind for me, just as it is for you. And I appreciate the question.
Thank you.
Great. Hal.
Yeah, you mentioned before in your talk about the price of food and the price of gas. What specifically on those two issues is the Biden campaign going to do about that?
Look, I think that, a lot of these things are intertwined. I think that we see the president hosting meetings, again, a contrast with the Republicans in regards to, how we handle this stuff on foreign policy. I think you've seen a lot of stuff lately with the president meeting to try to avoid trade wars. I think that that's one thing that we have to make sure that we're nailing down. Like a lot of people, and again, this is a very hard thing to explain to voters and people who don't pay attention, because at the end of the day, the voters aren't sitting at home watching MSNBC, CNN, Fox. They're sitting at home actually looking at their checkbooks. And so I'm cognizant of that. But a lot of this stuff that the president is doing under the hood are to prevent this, making sure that supply chains stay open, making sure that farmers are being supplied with subsidies for the things that they're growing. In fact, a lot of Republican governors across this country are taking credit for work that Democratic senators have passed to get money into a lot of these farmers to ease these concerns. And I think when it comes to gas, obviously oil, trade, everything that goes on in regards to Ukraine, the Middle East, it all has implications on the domestic product and what ultimately ends up being a back-end consumer spend when it comes to these things. And so we have to be mindful of all these things as we make decisions. I think we have seen oil drop in terms of the price per gallon, and gas going down and staying pretty, stagnant in where it is. I wish gas was $1 a gallon for myself, but at the same time, this is all a big combination of why these things on the foreign policy front also matter just as much as they do on the domestic front, because that's ultimately what people feel. And so we're going to continue to follow what the president has been doing by pumping money into the economy to resolve these issues. and also making sure that we handle stuff abroad so that we can keep the supply chains open, so that we're not paying extra on all these products that are being imported, that we're getting the best return on things that are being exported from America, because that's ultimately what controls the cost of goods and services, and oil in particular when you're talking about gasoline.
Great. Oh, wow, so many hands. In the back, what's your name?
Rosie.
Rosie.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Hey, Rosie. She's from the Brooklyn Law Democrats.
Yes. Maybe they can see me.
Yeah, they can see you.
You can see, okay.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Rosie. I'm a student here at Brooklyn Law School. My question, my friends, young Democrats, I'll tell you, have been feeling that their votes need to be earned in this second go around, and particularly with what is happening in Israel and Palestine, there's a real split in feelings from younger Democrats on human rights and calling for a ceasefire. Hundreds of Capitol staffers have walked out in opposition to their legislators, and internal State Department memos are sounding alarm on the human rights crisis in Gaza. Wait.
Excuse me.
Understanding that there are different views on the issue, myself being a Jewish woman, but trying to talk to my peers about this. What is the campaign doing to ensure you enthuse young voters and address what matters to young Democrats to earn their votes?
Thank you, Rosie. Clinton, sorry, before you answer that, I just want to remind everyone to not shout at other members. She was getting to a question that was uncalled for, but Clinton, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, Rosie. And look, on this issue, one, I think that there's a lot wrapped up in there. So I'll try to hit it and answer your question with the respect that I think it deserves. On the issue of Israel and Palestine, clearly, we are where we are on the foreign policy front, and we acknowledge that these are issues. This is something that, in my opinion, it's very important that the administration address leaders on this. I never want it to seem as though the campaign is pandering to any one group of people for votes for anything. But at the same time, we also have to be able to acknowledge that several things can be true at once. I think on the first hand, we all acknowledge that Hamas is a terrorist organization. On point two, there was an attack. Point three, Israel has a right to defend itself after being attacked. Point four, the way in which they respond to this does matter. Point five, the president and the vice president have both said that Islamophobia and anti-Semitism has no place in democracy, and that we're going to do everything we can to root that out on both sides, and not at the expense of the other. I think that was said earlier, and I agree with that. President has also called for a peaceful way to get to a two-state solution here. And so on this, people also have the right to protest. And that's something that's also been a part of our democracy, and something that you've heard the vice president say that people have the right to do. I think it is a very hot issue right now. I will also say that candidly on this, again, our foreign policy has to be steady. It has implications all across the world. And nobody understands that better than the president of the United States, Joe Biden. And that's how he's leading. And, when it comes to this, there's also a piece of this that, on the Republican side of things, they are praising terrorists. They are throwing our allies under the bus. They are not giving a second thought in regards to either side of this, really, as we saw during the debate on Tuesday, their responses to how they feel about this situation. And so, again, we acknowledge, but we also don't start by approaching this issue. And I understand I'm saying this as a principal deputy campaign manager for a presidential campaign. We don't start this issue with it being political. When it comes to American safety and foreign policy issues, that is not how Joe Biden makes decisions about what he's going to do. We don't wake up every morning thinking about polls, and he does not wake up every morning thinking about votes. He wakes up thinking about the safety of America. And so that's the guiding compass for his decisions. When it comes to engaging younger voters and getting them enthusiasm, this is one where I do think that we have to be mindful that there's a lot of different pieces. I hear a lot all the time about young voters only caring about climate change and caring about the future of their country. In fact, I think democracy is really hard to message to young voters, because if you're an 18-year-old voter, you've known Donald Trump as a president for most of your life. You may remember Obama from when you were little, but you've known, Donald Trump. And so I think it's really hard. It's hard to, afford housing. It's hard to do a lot of the things that a lot of older Democrats and people may remember where it was easier to do. But if you're a younger voter and you live in a major city, you're not getting a house or a 1-bedroom condo or a flat or a townhouse without putting $100,000 down. Like, that's just the way it is. And then hope that you don't get outbid. So like, we have to acknowledge all these things. But I also think that different groups of young voters are going to want to hear very different things. And I want to make sure that our campaign doesn't get bogged down in thinking that one single policy is enough to talk to young voters. I speak to a lot of young African-American voters, and I can tell you, climate never comes out of their mouth. Gun violence never comes out of their mouth. A lot of these things that we consider to be young, issues, that's not what they're talking about. And so I think, one, being mindful that younger voters can be just as diverse in their political opinions and the things that they care about as older voters. And so making sure that we're hitting that. I also think bringing more younger voices into the table. One of the things that I think has not been done properly on past campaigns, and I hate to critique campaigns that I've never been a part of, but not having enough young voices that have a seat at the table that are advising on the policy and the ways in which you communicate. I also think that we're going to have to utilize, going back to the point about misinformation, disinformation, and social media, I think we're going to have to utilize people that young voters listen to, surrogates, people that, are willing to stand up for what they believe in. And there are several of those people that, are out there. And I think we're going to have to do everything we can to engage them, because they see folks on the other side of this, and whether it be rappers or influencers with Donald Trump, and it creates a permission structure, right? So we have to combat that too. So again, for me, trying to synthesize my answer, it's one, making sure that we're everywhere. And that's not just on college campus. There are a lot of young voters who aren't living on college campuses, but college campuses are a piece of it, making sure that we're diverse in the issue set when we talk to these voters. And three, making sure that they have a seat at the table. Really, one is making sure they have a seat at the table and that they can express their views and concerns. And that can help us also message it, because I don't think a bunch of 30, 40, and 50-year-olds that are running a presidential campaign should be sitting there and determining what we're saying to younger voters when they have opinions and views of their own.
Wonderful. Okay, I think we have time for two more, because we have to be respectful of these guys' time. Jason. Sorry.
That was lost.
Sorry, that was.
Wow.
Okay. Jason and then Kenan.
I have a sort of campaign focused question. I think thinking back to 2016, one of the mistakes or things that didn't work was a lot of us took a lot of bus trips to Pennsylvania. And a lot of times it felt, as a participant, as a seasoned campaigner, like we were sort of an afterthought to their plan. We were sometimes given lists that weren't great. And I know that it's too early to think about those things, but I would just encourage you, when you're planning and thinking about resources that you have here in places like New York City and blue areas, and how to really most effectively use those people in swing states nearby, whether it's phone calls, whether it's the people on the ground, because that really felt like a sort of a wasted resource, and to come close and miss, I think that was a real mistake. So I don't have a question with that. I will just say, I think Biden needs to, on the campaign trail, give him that bomber jacket and those aviator sunglasses.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so that wasn't really, okay, Ken, because
Sorry. Thank you. So one particular local issue that we're having, that a lot of our local Democratic officials are making hay about, is the asylum seeker crisis. And many local officials who will remain nameless are saying that we're being abandoned by Washington. And whether or not that's true, I can foresee, as we're out there gathering signatures for President Biden, that coming up in our conversations with our own local voters. So understanding that Speaker Johnson is not sending a nice bailout check to New York anytime soon for this, how would you recommend, and how does the Biden campaign plan to address this issue?
Yeah, look, this is an issue where, I think that the president has done everything he can to, exhaust this issue. But your point about how people, perceive it on the ground, I do know, if I can, be a little specific here, New York has received funding from the government more than any other place where, immigrants are being bused to from these Republican states, have received, resources for this. And by no means am I trying to clarify or say if something's enough or if it's not, but that has taken place. And this administration, this president has done everything they can, including putting it in the package that he sends to Congress. But, again, I think we have to avoid letting, or I say again, but I think we have to avoid letting Republicans tear us apart on this issue. I've seen it firsthand, and I did a lot of work in Chicago, which I think has a similar sort of setup. And I think that we see, communities of color really being sort of ripped apart, and this being a either or type of situation. And I think we have to stay above the fray on that. I also think that it's a piece about morality, about who we are as human beings. Like, these are human beings, and we are going to treat them as such. And I think that they should be treated as such. But look, Congress has to act on this. The president is going to continue and circle back and continue to push for more resources to the states to do this. I think, again, everything in his power that can be done on this issue, he has done it. But again, I always try to, and I don't know how good of an answer you think this is. Probably think it's a terrible one, but I do think that we should not let people take away the humanity that we have as Democrats when it comes to this issue. And it's interesting, a lot of times I hear that in some of the responses about some things, and then it's just completely lost when it comes to an issue like immigration. And so I don't think that we should allow Republicans to do that. But your point is taken about the fact that, I know for a fact it's a concern in New York and in Chicago, but the president's going to continue to push on Congress to deliver. And our campaign, again, we're not a policy entity, but our campaign is going to continue to push to point out that the Republicans are failing to act on this. In fact, that's what campaigns are for. So I don't know how well that answered your question, but that's my best go at it.
Well, I think it was a good answer. I think it is news to a lot of New Yorkers that the federal government has sent money to New York for this crisis. You wouldn't know it from the Post.
Yeah.
Or from the administration.
Right. Okay. Thank you. So I think our Assemblymember Joanne Simon is in the room, and she did sneakily raise her hand. So I will give her one quick question because these folks have to go, but go ahead.
Excuse me. I appreciate your comments, and I will say that one of my great sources of frustration is how we're walking into Greg Abbott's trap. And we need to be more forceful in saying it's not us. The problem isn't our problem. The problem is Greg Abbott is playing everybody for a fool. I think that to me, a lot of this is around fascism and authoritarianism. And the Donald Trump of the 2024 election is not the Donald Trump of 2016, where he could, schmooze with people. He is so overt about the authoritarianism. I would just ask how the president's campaign will address that issue head on. I think we need to really address it head on because, my parents' generation fought World War II. There's a lot of people who don't have any recollection of that. They don't have any recollection of what really, the Nazis were all about. And they're openly, mirroring everything that the Nazis were talking about.
Yeah, look, I think, I think that this is, and I actually got off a call earlier sort of railing about this. I think that you are correct in the fact that we need to be very forceful in this when he goes on stage and says that, he calls people vermin. I think it's intentional language. I think that, when he talks about his views on immigration, family separation, ripping people apart, I think that this is something that we do need to be on the offensive on and reminding people, appropriately so, while also painting the picture per my comment earlier about what we want to do for people's lives. But I also think that, Donald Trump gets a pass at this from the media, whether they believe it's, fatigue of covering him or whether they believe, and it doesn't matter. if people are tired of seeing it. It's not the media's job to sort of dictate how much of the terrible stuff they want to put about Donald Trump. He's running to be the president of the United States, and it should be reported on as such. But our campaign is going to be more forceful on pointing out all the things. In fact, we're blasting out press releases. We're doing everything we can. We have not gone on television against Donald Trump yet, so I don't want to say that we have. But our campaign is going to be very forceful on talking about his plans for America, and particularly when it comes to these things like immigration. We do need to be a little bit more on the offensive on them. And so I completely agree with you about, how he's mirroring history and talking about these things. And in fact, I think it should be an easier case for us to make, because unlike a lot of people in 2016, I believe it was theoretical for Donald Trump, because people thought, oh, that's just words. And then he got in and he did it. And so now when he's saying these things, look, my grandmother says to me, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. I know she didn't come up with that quote, but she used to say it to me a lot about the way I was acting, unfortunately, not the way people acted. But point taken, it got me to straighten up. But we know who Donald Trump is. He's shown us for 4 years, and we cannot make that mistake again. And so, I think you're completely right about us having to paint that picture. And honestly educate folks in regards to it. I think a lot of folks don't, really pick up on, that aren't acquiesced in that history when he uses words like vermin. Like, right, that's just not something to do unless it's intentional. So he knows what he's doing, right? And then he follows it up with the type of policies, right? Ending birthright citizenship, banning people from coming into this country, Muslim bans. Like, there is no other, word for it other than what he's talking about. And in fact, his idea of how to fix immigration, to be honest, is a failed one. And so we see remnants of that just sitting there at the border. And so, I know I'm rambling here a little bit, but this is something that I do get passionate about, because I think that we do have to paint that picture, and we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can have an agenda and where we want to go, but we can also show people where he's trying to take us back to, and how we'll undo the last 3 years that we've been working on to try to climb out of the hole that he put us in.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. I really appreciate the time.
Very, very much appreciate you guys being so generous with your time. You spent a lot of time with us. And just so you know, we will be voting on an endorsement this evening. So Alana, I will be in touch. And we will start getting hitting the petitions with the ground. Hitting the ground running with petitioning.
There you go.
Thank you. Come December 18th is the first day that we can carry petitions.
Okay.
December 18th.
12.
The same party. Okay, the 12th. Sorry, I'm bad with dates. That's okay. All right. Well, thank you again. They probably tuned off, but okay. So we also have another Biden-Harris representative, Bill Wallstraw, who's the Wallstraw. Am I saying that correct?
Close enough.
Okay, close enough. Who's the co-founder of New York for Biden-Harris. We are running short on time, but would love to be.
I'm a fast talker.
Okay, great.
I'm born and raised in New York.
Great. I
Get a
will.
good picture for my wife.
Okay.
I'll try. Hi, everybody. Thanks for inviting me. First, break out your pens and your phones. I'm going to give you a website. It's ny4bidenharris2024.com. NYFOR Biden-Harris 2024. So before I tell you what we're going to do, I'm going to tell you why we're going to do it. So I'm captain of something that's called Downtown East for Progress. We were Downtown East for Obama. So we were one of the groups formed in Manhattan to work for Barack Obama in 2008. And we stayed together all these years, doing phone banking, doing canvassing, doing tabling, doing all the things that you know how to do. I'm also a bleeding heart, left-wing New Yorker, born and raised. My politics are probably closer to Marianne Williamson's than Joe Biden's, and closer to Bernie Sanders than Joe Biden's. But I'm here to tell you that as someone who, after the Obama campaigns, became a community organizer, that I'm speaking forcefully for Joe Biden. He's smart, he's experienced. Remember the old Aaron Sorkin quote from the American president? Being president of the United States is all about character, right? If we've learned anything in the last 8 years, 4 years of Trump, 4 years of Biden, that's what we've learned. I'm also going to tell you, and if Ms. Williamson stayed, I would have said it to her face, but any primarying an incumbent Democratic president or third party candidates is just going to hurt us, right? you know, maybe Robert Kennedy Jr. is an exception. He may draw from Republicans, but really, you know, as much as I love Bernie Sanders, if Bernie Sanders had pulled out properly and not taken shots at Hillary and his supporters weren't so actively anti-Hillary, perhaps we would never have had Donald Trump. I was, okay, I got applause. As a younger man, I cast protest votes, right? It viscerally feels good to go against the system. But you end up with bad things when that happens. You end up with guys like Donald Trump. So we've been doing this volunteer work. In 2020, I started off as an Elizabeth Warren supporter, right? Left wing, that, you know, like I told you. But as things evolved, it was clear Joe Biden was going to be the candidate, and I got on board early. And I called my friend Nye Whitaker. Remember, we're in the heart of the pandemic. It's like April or May, and we're all locked down with nothing. What are we going to do? Because we can't deal with 4 more years of Trump. And what we did was we organized. Obama used to say, "You are the change you're waiting for," right? So we're not waiting, and all respect due to the Biden campaign, they did not have one staffer in New York State until September of 2020. And then it was only 3 people on the payroll, and 2 of ours were our volunteers, right? So we're not waiting, and we've already started our work. So just a little background, 4 years ago, when we were all locked down, we invented how to do a virtual phone bank. We were the first ones doing it. And then we taught everybody else across the country how to do it. We recruited over 70,000 volunteers in New York State to act out because, like this gentleman said, we felt Hillary didn't activate the way she could have, the New York energy that we had. And so we activated. By the time it was all over, we had 838 virtual phone banks run by New Yorkers with New Yorkers on them. And I did the math, and I've done it over and over again. It's somewhere between 3 and 4 million phone calls into swing states. Swing states like Georgia that was won by 41,000 votes and Arizona that was won by 11,000 votes. I personally go around saying I won this election single-handedly, but it wasn't me. It was 70,000 New York State volunteers, people just like you. And we're going to do it again, except this time we're not hemmed in by the pandemic. So we've already started our work. We've started connecting with swing states. And so we're going to make those swing state calls when it comes time, which is toward the end of next year. But we also have 6 districts right now in New York State that are swing congressional districts, the Pat Ryan district and 5 others that are in play. So we're going to organize people to make phone calls for them as well. The ERA amendment is going to be on the ballot in New York State next year. So we're going to activate every damn woman we can find who's pissed off about the way the world is and get them out to make calls. And when we make calls for the ERA, we're also going to ask these people to volunteer to make calls to swing states, right? We're going to coordinate it all, and we're going to do it all, and we're going to do it with partners. We don't do it ourselves. It's all partnerships with elected officials. We had partnerships with city council people. We had partnerships with Democratic clubs like yours. We had partnerships with indivisible groups. And this is New York statewide. And we're gonna do it again. And we need your help. And I'm going to send you again, NewYorkForBiden2024.com. And we want you to sign up. We want you to recruit volunteers. We want you to partner with us for phone banks. We're going to put people in buses. We're going to knock on doors. We're going to do all the things that win. Because the bottom line is, no matter how much they gerrymander and how much shit they tell you on Fox News, if our people get out and vote, young people, college students, people of color, union workers, women, the LGBTQ community, if they get out and vote, they're more of us than those guys in the red hats. And I'm just going to end by saying I had this happen all the time, making phone bank calls. Somebody was saying, one of these Trump car parades just came by, all these trucks, these 4x4s with the flags waving Trump, Trump. It was everywhere from Long Island to Wisconsin to Florida, wherever you were making phone calls, you heard about them. I said, let them get in their cars and drive around. Because we're going to make calls. We're going to tell people how to vote early. We're going to tell people how to do mail-in ballots. And we're going to make sure that people get out and vote on election day. And that's how we win. Right? So that's why I'm here.
Fast enough for you?
That was fast. Yeah, pretty fast.
Questions?
Yeah, happy to.
No, I don't think this is appropriate.
Sorry, I'm sorry, okay.
Endorsement yet.
Yes, I agree.
And we're having a rallying post-endorsement type talk.
Howard, I hear you.
I don't think we should be taking any questions at this time.
I think it's important. I think it's an important question. When it comes to certain primaries, like Boney, who was one of the progressives, who didn't even vote for a resolution supporting Israel, and me as a Jew, and the Jews.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so let me just say.
Excuse me, point of order, point of order.
Point of order, point of order.
We are examining all this are freaking website.
When it comes to a primary, when we're doing a primary, are we supposed to support someone like that? Or are we gonna do something against someone like that?
Well, luckily, he's not in our district at all, so
Yes,
that's,
it is, New York State Democrats.
no, he's not.
He's on with the same.
Ira, I need you to calm down for a second and remember what we started with, that we should be, rational, calm, collected. Let's be nice to each other, number one. I think Bill joined us here because of his position as the New York for Biden-Harris campaign. And to be quite frank, we didn't confirm Quentin until a little while ago. So thank you for coming regardless. And I think this is an endorsement meeting. We will be making an endorsement. I think, this is a little bit ahead of the picture, but I'm sure Bill and his group will be back if we choose to endorse the Biden-Harris campaign, and we will work together. So I think we should pause here. Thank you, Bill.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So, speaking of making endorsements, we do have some.
Boys and girls, please.
What? Yeah. Everyone,
Thank you.
let's limit the discussions outside because we do have more to get to on the agenda, surprisingly. So this is an endorsement meeting. Every club member who is in good standing can get a ballot. Though, and I should say for the record that we did invite, what's his face? Dean Phillips. Yes, we invited him as well. He didn't come or respond to my email. It's crazy that Marianne Williamson did, let's be real. I think we could do the whole ballot process of sending out individual ballots to members and work through Seamus's amazing new voting system, which is very cool. Or if there is general consensus, I would entertain a motion to vote by acclamation.
So moved. Hold on. Well, it's actually more.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, do what you have.
So, yeah. Okay, first off, there's a point of order I want to make, because only President Biden had submitted a statement of candidacy to the state party, which is a requirement to appear on the primary ballot in April. We cannot endorse for Ms. Williamson or Representative Phillips. With that, I make a motion to suspend the rules and endorse Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. and Kamala Devi Harris for President and Vice President of the United States, respectively.
Second.
Okay,
Can I just
let's discuss.
ask a quick
Yes,
question? Is that in our bylaws?
No, it's a state,
Is it state law? So that we as
In other
a,
words, they can't be on the ballot.
Yeah.
so we
That's
can't
what
endorse.
Right, right.
Okay, so there was a motion made. We can open up discussion. Is there anything to discuss?
I have to say that
Right.
the statement made by the person from the Biden campaign about how well Democrats are doing is particularly true. One person it doesn't seem to be doing this is Joe Biden. And when I hear all this talk about how we should not be saying anything, even though it's all out there and people are saying it, and it's the great unspoken secret. Everyone does care about age in the real world. And this idea, we all got to keep quiet. It's like Joe Biden is in a hothouse and God forbid he should go outside and be exposed to the environment, disaster is going to strike. And I just find this entire attitude to be really dangerous. I think we have a real problem. We're going to be facing fascism in this country if Donald Trump is elected.
Who's 70?
And I frankly am very concerned about Joe Biden being our nominee, and I think he's done a great job, and I would be glad to vote for him for re-election. But I feel we're on the road to disaster.
On that happy note, any
Can I
other
motion?
motion to move to a vote? Okay. Any other, all right, let's do a vote.
I just want to quick, so I really don't think he answered my question. I think he avoided a number of the economic issues. We didn't get a straight answer. So I'm not sure if I'm in good standing, because I'm not sure if I had, I am, okay.
Okay,
I just can't throw my support to the Biden campaign right now. I just don't.
okay.
Yeah.
Can we do a hand vote? on-
Anybody else like to have an answer to that?
Yes, people can
Nobody-
abstain.
How did you do online?
Sorry.
Online, please just raise your hands.
Do you want to stand over there so you can see the count?
Get
Sorry.
better, but.
Okay,
Williamson's gonna win?
This is a question,
yeah, a question?
clarifying question?
Yes, go ahead.
This is a vote to suspend the rules so that we can what, do a voice vote?
Yeah.
It was out.
Right, instead of doing.
Yes, because according to the IND Constitution, in order to.
You don't have to explain it. It's
Okay,
good.
thank you. Okay, so the motion to suspend the rules so we can do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Abstaining? Okay, abstention. The motion passes. Okay, now we vote to endorse President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Oh, wait, I can't make a motion. Somebody else say it. Julie.
He's so moved.
Oh,
Yeah,
you so
so
moved. Yes, okay, perfect.
Second, third.
All right, let's do this. All in favor of endorsing the president in Veep?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Opposed or abstain?
I'll abstain.
Okay, abstain, two abstentions. Okay, online, you all count too. Okay, it moves. Yay, okay. All right, so the date again is apparently the 12th and not the 18th, where we can start collecting petition signatures. But we are already in touch with Alana and the campaign, and they will be printing them. So usually IND takes a little holiday solstice, but because we move things up, we will be working through the holidays, and they're due, I believe, the 8th through the 18th of January. Yes, so we'll work with the campaign to figure out when the proper drop-off dates are. And I have, yes.
I wanted to point out, remember, it's two sheets. We carry one sheet that has the candidate for president. And then there's another sheet that is the list of delegates who will go to the convention and vote for. The convention is going to be in Chicago. They will actually vote for the candidates.
Yes, yes.
Do you know who the delegates are?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't think so, but we will be,
They have to
It's done by
decide
state.
before it's circulated.
yeah,
Yes, ask the prince.
yes,
And it's done by congressional district.
yeah. So New York 10, all of us, well, we're in the New York 10, which is the,
That's
you
You
know,
have a little bit of.
that's true, a few EDs.
Yeah, we have
Okay,
like a couple of-
so I know everyone's excited about 2024 and looking ahead, and we will be, you know, doing a petitioning headquarters, which we will announce everything when that comes up. But before that, we have some old business to return to. So first things first, last month we were visited by the Senator for Community Alternatives, and they made a great impassioned pitch for the 3 bills that they're working on. And the executive board put together a resolution calling for the New York State Legislature to pass the Earned Time Act, the Second Look Act, and the Eliminate Mandatory Minimums Act, all of which Assemblymember Joanne Simon is already on, and Zelma Myrie is already on, and Andrew Bernardis said he is considering. So a resolution from IND would go a long way to help him consider to support, I believe. So the resolution was circulated to club members through the IND general mailing list. And I think it's really good. And I would love if IND voted in favor of the resolution. Any questions, discussions? I will entertain a motion. Matthew.
I'd like to move to table discussion of this for 1 year.
1 year.
Yes. We can keep blaming Jacobs for the losses that we keep having in New York. But at some point, we have to look at the voters and respect them and say, we maybe not like what we're saying. Last week, I asked the question of the people, and they made a great presentation. Can we maybe just not do ending all mandatory minimums? And that's what the act is, ending all of it. The problem is that the voters of this city, the voters of this state, keep looking at the Democratic Party and saying, you're not for public safety. You're not for my family. You're not for my community. And acts like the Mandatory Minimum Act are just giving them ammunition to keep telling us that. We have spent the entire meeting here talking about how the next election in 2024 is the most important election of our lifetimes. The single most important election, probably since 1860, which led to an actual civil war in our country. It's time to get ready. It's time to go to war. We can't do anything that even adds 1% of a chance that the Republican Party can make any kind of gains. Because if you look at what happened last year, the reason there's a four vote Republican majority, because New York Democrats fell on the ground.
No,
New York Democrats.
Republicans lied through their teeth about what
They
it was
may have
they
lied
were
to their
doing.
teeth that some people
They lied
that's
to their
true.
teeth.
They may have lied to you, but guess what? The people listened. And we have
That's
to
true.
respect that.
People listen to liars and fascists all the
We have to
time.
respect that, and they
So
keep
they
on
would-
telling us that they don't want to hear any more of these public safety things. So I think, and just because it has the Mandatory Minimum Act in there, I don't think we can enforce that, because I think it only gives more ammunition to people who want to make our country worse. And I think we need to, for that portion at least, I think we need to leave that behind for the year. I think we need to put it back later and take it up at another time, because right now we have to think about what are the important things that we have to run on in the next year, and the Mandatory Minimum Act isn't it.
Thank you.
Nobody's running on.
I recognize you made a motion to table, which means we have to vote on that immediately, but I have a clarifying question first.
Yes.
If we struck, somebody's phone is ringing back there. If we struck the third bill, would you would you rescind your motion?
Yes, I would.
Interesting.
Why
Why
don't we
mandatory
amend the
minimum?
bill to endorse the other two and take a separate vote on the mandatory amendment?
I like that.
I
That's
second
very-
that.
Point of order, sorry, parliamentary. Go ahead.
Has there been a second?
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Second the motion to table. Or
That's-
second
that's
Howard.
motion to end.
Okay,
Oh,
but,
No.
You gotta vote on the motion to table
Okay,
first.
he withdrew it.
Then you vote on the next.
Yeah.
So there's no second on the motion.
oh, he just withdrew it.
That's
Okay,
fine.
okay, so now we're discussing,
Okay.
keeping the resolution, but only supporting the Earned Time Act and Second Look Act. And
We can take a vote on the mandatory minimum separately.
separately, yes, okay, that's a good idea, thank you. You seconded Howard's. Okay, so we're all on the same page here. Okay, thank you. Whoa, so much procedural stuff tonight. Okay, so we have a motion on the table. Let's open up the discussion on that.
Julia had a good question that I have to.
Yeah.
Can you just remind us what each of the three? Thank you.
I know.
Joanne. Actually, Seamus, do you want to pull up our resolution? So the Earned Time Act is about, like releasing, people after they've spent enough time. I'm sorry, I'm not really good at explaining. Joanne, who actually like knows the bill a little bit.
Automatically.
Yeah,
Right,
At
it's
least
not
that
like,
would
yeah.
be, it would be a
it's-
judge would have a
it's
chance to look
consideration.
at somebody after longer.
That's the second, that's the second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and then the other one is, Joanne, help.
The earned time.
The Earned Time Act. Explain
The what?
that. The Earned Time Act.
Oh, that is, we have something similar, but, that we instituted that's working. Basically, if you earn time, you do a certain amount of time, that, that will then, count, towards early release. In a way that, if you're out on parole, for example, and you earn time, and for every month that you're out on parole, you get a month taken off kind of thing. So that it encourages people to live by the requirements of parole, and it gives them an incentive to do that.
Okay. And to clarify, the mandatory minimums, I don't remember it getting rid of all mandatory minimums.
I don't think so either, but I think the issue is that part of the thing that drives a lot of the, mass incarceration is mandatory minimums that really were instituted in an environment in which everybody was gonna, the 3 strikes you're out.
Yeah.
And it could be a relatively minor offenses. And nobody today would pass a bill like that. So part of the problem with mandatory minimums is it requires people to go away for a longer period of time. And so actually the parole board doesn't get to even meet about it until a significant amount of time. And that keeps people away from their homes and communities and families and that further harms society because of that. So that's the point of that. Now, I don't have the bill in front of me, so I could be, misremembering, but I think it's more serious offenses.
I'm having problems finding the URL for us.
What is it?
Please.
Community
Uh,
center.
Yeah, it was sent around in the IND email. You can click and see the PDF of it.
Are we gonna have any more debate on the other two? Because I like,
Yes,
that we close debate unless someone else
Okay.
says something. Consent.
yes, that's a good point. Anything else on this?
Just point of clarity, if we
Yes.
approve both, or all three, if we approve all three, it'll still appear as all one resolution, or are we doing two separate resolutions?
I think we would probably have to do two separates. Okay, all right, so let's first take a vote on the Earn Time Act and Second Look Act. And the executive board will make sure we clarify the resolutions and make them all meet. Okay, all in favor of supporting a resolution of support for the Earn Time Act and the Second Look Act?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, abstentions? Okay, so that one checks out. Okay. All in favor of supporting the Eliminate Mandatory Minimums Act? What?
I thought we were not.
I thought we were gonna debate that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, we should debate first.
So let's
I just gave- Okay,
Stop talking now.
all right, yes, okay. Thank you. Technical issues. Okay, so yes, thank you for that. We'll open up debate on whether to support the Eliminate Mandatory Minimums Act.
Do we have a bill number?
Yeah,
Yes,
that
it
would
is
be
S64 or Assembly 2036A.
It's Seller's bill.
I have to say, yes, I believe I'm one of the more conservative people in the club that having spent time in criminal term on two separate intervals, I think mandatory minimums are Procrustean mold. And the
Can you
way
define
they're applied in New
Procrustean?
York State, especially in 3 strikes, you're out, is extremely problematic. And despite the fact that I share some of the qualms previously expressed, have to say that I favor this bill.
Thank you. Can you define Procrustean?
It's like you put something into a mold
Uh-huh.
and it's forcible and like limbs and so on get severed. It
Thank you.
it runs on, Greek mythology.
Okay, great. Any other discussion? Jason?
Procrusteus.
And I completely hear you on the legal nature of this, but one of the sort of demons of mandatory minimums is it can force young people to take plea deals that they
Yeah.
otherwise wouldn't take, and it forces them into a
That's what
position.
they say.
Yeah.
And they describe.
Exactly, I think that's a true harm of it, and.
Yes.
So that I'm very proud.
Okay.
I think it says all.
Does say all. So I want to point out last week that when they came here and I asked the question, would we be better off with eliminating mandatory minimums for drug offenses, for embezzlement, all those types of things, and give back those things, but keep them for like rape, murder, and all that. And the people who were here last week said no, and all mandatory minimums. The problem is that if you take the end of mandatory minimums, fine, but that's the law that's written. That's the law that's written, and that's what was presented.
So that's
to us
the
by-
bill that's.
Can I-
The bill, right, right, you're right.
It's got a long way to go before
That's the bill that's.
I now remember that you asked that, and I remember they said yes, because the version of the bill that we draft is what we want, and we know that it's going to be taken
Yes.
down by
But
in
that's
the
what we're
negotiation
endorsing,
process.
that's the problem.
But that's fine, but that's not the one that's gonna be passed in the end, so it's not gonna go to the voters.
That's what the Republicans are gonna say we're in favor of. They're saying we're in favor of free rate calculus. That's what they're gonna
But they're
say.
gonna say that anyway.
Yeah, they do say
All right, let's remain in order. I think we're doing a good job. Steve?
Just some information.
Okay, one.
Sorry, Ira, Steve is talking.
Steve,
Go ahead.
Just some information I pulled up to see who sponsors the bill, just may have some information. So so the sponsor is Zellner Myrie, and the co-sponsors in the Senate include Jabari Bridgeport, and they include Brad Hallman Siegel, is that how it's pronounced?
Whaleman.
Brian Kavanaugh, and Parker, Jessica Ramos, Julia Salazar, and just some other people from the New York area.
Okay, Any other
The more
comments on
important
this?
houses.
Well, Kevin Parker being the most
Yeah.
important.
Okay, any other comments on this? Any other comments on this before we?
He says it's the image factor. When you're talking about what he's talking about, people immediately say, well, huh? They don't think of the other things. It's the same thing when it comes to economics. Mr. Jones in Nebraska is going to the supermarket, seeing that the prices are going up. She sees her mortgage is going up, and here's the president of the United States saying, oh, inflation's coming down. Well, I don't pay inflation. I pay for eggs. Well, the same thing about the minimum thing. I am looking at you, I think, wow, you're doing minimum sentences, and these guys are getting out, and they're robbing a store next week. Well, the point is, where do you put the boundary line?
Okay.
Vote against it.
Yeah, I think everyone seems to know where Ira is gonna vote, so. I think we've heard a lot of discussion. Can we move on to votes on this?
Call the question.
Okay, call the question. All in favor of endorsing resolution to support the Eliminate Mandatory Minimums Act? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye. I think that looks like a majority, but okay. That's probably more than half of us, right?
One, two.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry, nays. Oh, yeah, okay.
Keep your hand up.
Nays. Oh,
Oh, now we're.
I think let's do it by eyeball first and then see what happens. Okay, and nays. Nays. 1, 2, okay. Oh. All right. Abstention.
Our esteemed assemblywoman
Okay.
voted no.
I did not. I had my hand still
Yeah.
raised. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Put it down. Put it down. Put it down.
Thank you. Okay, so the motion passes, so we will support separately the Earned Time Back and the Second Look Act and the Eliminate Mandatory Minimums Act. I want to say thank you for the discussion. I thought that we're.
Motion,
Yes, another motion, another motion.
Yeah. I just move, if only just this way I have less work, that we just recombine the two resolutions.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Thank you.
Do you wanna-
Thank you all.
It's a good action.
Yes.
I don't want to write these.
I do want to thank Matthew. That was a really good point and a good discussion to have.
It is very important. And I'm just gonna have to say, I spend a lot of time, my mom's in Putnam County right now, and they're gonna go after this. They're gonna go after it, and we have to be prepared for an answer. And right now, I don't know if we have one.
Well,
I
here's
don't
the
think
thing, the
people that
people in
go
Putnam
after
County are
are
not
gonna
going
come
into
IND.
IND.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they're not going after IND, but they will,
Pass.
Okay,
they're gonna.
guys, we lose the room in 5 minutes and we do have more to talk about.
But
Okay, I'm moving us along because I think last month another discussion was brought up and I wanted to give a report out on that topic. So there was a discussion of a proposed resolution regarding Councilwoman Shahana Hanif about recent tweets and things like that. And Joanne, sorry, we're moving at the meeting, we moved to have the executive board discuss. And the executive board discussed, and I wanted to pass it to Steve, our board chairman, to give a readout of that conversation.
I have to say, we had a very, very intelligent, respectful conversation about this, and I think it's a very, very motivating for residents to me. But what we decided on the e-board is because we are IND, we want to hear all voices, is that Shahana Hanif was invited, but she was invited to come to the meeting that was supposed to happen tomorrow. So she was not able to make it. And what we do, we want to hear from her. We want to hear our position. And quite frankly, from our standpoint, we'd like to hear the position of all our elected officials on this issue. So what we suggested was to bring in Shahana Hanif, have a discussion, determine whether to bring the resolution. Unfortunately, she could not make it this month. Legitimate reason, she's not ducking us. And hopefully she will appear at our January meeting and we can discuss this further. But we worked hard at this. We discussed it. I generally have, I'm the e-board chairman / Nazi. I try and
Maybe not that term in this context.
That's not the best choice.
Yeah. Warden, that's.
Relate to last discussion, but I try and keep meetings to an hour. This meeting went an hour and 45 minutes, and I have to say, we really discussed this. And I think we came up with a really reasonable, intelligent, fair way of dealing with it. So hopefully Councilwoman Hanif will come. We can ask all our elected officials what their position are. and then make a determination of where we're gonna go with this resolution. And I hope this meets everybody's, I hope it appeals to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing you forgot, remember, pay your dues.
Oh, yeah, pay your dues.
No, no,
Yeah, INDPortland.org.
Right.
Thank you. Awesome. So, okay, recognizing that the clock is ticking far too fast. The new business we endorsed, okay, we did that. Reminders. So everyone, thank you so much for showing up on a Wednesday. It's weird that we also exist on different days of the weeks because I'm so used to seeing you on Thursdays. But tomorrow we do have the county meeting, and I would love to have IND show up in force. So if you tune into the Zoom as for the county meeting, make sure to add IND in your Zoom name so they can see that we are showing up in force. Also following, we'll teach you how to do that.
No, I
Okay.
did, but no,
Do we have any access to what's the do it?
No clue. I mean, they said that they will have a breakout session for discussions on. Yes. But
Oh, great.
Housing
Yeah,
and something else.
Aaron or Lydia, you got anything?
Yeah, if Aaron and Lydia want to pop up and see if they have any intel from the DL's perspective.
Rep your block is.
Yeah, and then, so right after that, we included it in our email, but Rep Your Block is having an after party for after the county meeting. So expect to be on Zoom until, midnight. And, but we will sort of debrief what happened there, but happy to throw it to you guys. You guys are on the big screen, Aaron and Lydia. If you're paying attention. Aaron might not be paying attention. Aaron's here. Hi. If you guys want to unmute, if you know anything, what we can expect tomorrow, give us a heads up. The floor is yours for like 30 seconds.
I mean, I don't think we know that much, but more than you, but yeah, so it's the issues meeting, which we have instead of the regular meeting because of the rules change that happened a couple of years ago. So it's not going to be like any voting on resolutions or rules. It's just going to be focused on policy. And it was based on, they sent out a survey a little while ago asking people for what sort of topics they wanted to hear information about. So that's what the focus will be on in this meeting. And I believe they just sent out an email today that said more details. I believe I saw something about climate change and also housing were some of the topics.
Nothing about backstabbing?
Yeah, I'm sure nothing about not supporting Justin Brownman, none of that, but okay.
No, but I'm sure it'll come up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like I said, if folks are able to join tomorrow night, I really hope you can, because it's very rare that IND moves their meetings from Thursday to Wednesdays. And I think it was important, especially after the, bad showing of Rodney's and the personal attacks against a district leader who's a good friend of many of us. I think it's really important that we show up as reformers tomorrow night and make sure to include IND in your Zoom names. Happy to help if anyone needs to know how to do that. And then go to the after party and we'll see what's up. Thank you guys. You can take them down. Oh, good to see you. Sorry, I couldn't give you more time. Next time. Okay. Quick other things. We had a great fundraiser for Andrew Gennardis on Monday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it, but I heard a lot of you were there and it was a great party. Sorry, I missed it. There is another fundraiser for our other senator, State Senator Zelnor Myrie, this Friday, the 17th. It is super exciting, so you should come out to that. Our next general meeting is the January general meeting where Shahana will be there. I saw Lincoln on the way out here, so he said he'll be there as well. So we'll get lots of our elected officials and we'll have a larger discussion, as Steve said, and that will be January 18th. And then the annual IND holiday party. Karen.
Our holiday party. It's going to be on Sunday, January 21st.
Save the date. It's the party of the year.
In this gorgeous room with a beautiful scenic view of the river in Manhattan. And it's beautiful space. We were there last year. It'll be late afternoon. And the other announcement Joan and I have together is we'd like to do a fundraiser to get her off the ground, give her a boost to her campaign. It's Norma Jean Jennings. And not endorsed yet. Not endorsed yet.
Yeah. I'll table that one.
The announcement. That's all I know.
That's okay. Thank you. So yeah, save the date, IND holiday party, the 21st or potentially the 28th. Yeah, freebie, yes. Okay,
Isn't that the one where everybody got COVID? last
yeah, I
year?
was gonna say it wasn't such a splitter event. Hopefully he's vaccinated, all of that stuff.
Not everybody.
I know, I.
Joanne. Joanne.
Thanks to the.
Joanne, if it's okay with you, given time, I'm gonna skip. Unless you have elected official reports, but we're.
No, that's fine. I
Okay,
don't
good.
think I need to report.
Okay, good. The elected official has reported. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna entertain a motion, but before I do that, I wanted to say thank you. This is officially my last full meeting as IND president. I, stepped into this role 2 years ago and have loved almost every moment of it.
Wait a minute, don't we have a January?
We do, but I passed the torch at that one, at the beginning of that meeting, no?
No, it's February.
No, we reorganized the calendar. It's a January meeting.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, so,
Was that way?
yes, it was that May until, so anyway, long story short, this was my last meeting. I think it was a pretty good one. Marianne Williamson, Biden campaign, interesting policy debates with bigger picture perspectives. And I'll be sending out a bigger thank you note, but I did just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. All the folks who came on Zoom and who have supported this club over the last 2 years. We went through a ton of unprecedented, very weird things. And I'm really happy to have gone through it all with you. And I know the club is in great.
Exactly like that.
Oh, and the first gentleman and I are expecting a baby in April 2020. Motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. I'm sweating to death.
Danielle, did you get this meeting?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, it's. Okay.